Cave Comedy Radio is brought to you by adamandeve.com. Input the code CCR at checkout for discounts.
Nerd? Oh. Where's my fucking glasses? Oh, you took the nerd. Nerd! Right out of my mouth.
Yes. They've got the brains.
Loneliness. Discuss.
Hey, welcome to Nerd Mouth, episode 98. I'm your co-host, Mike Lawrence.
I'm your co-host, Jake Young.
And with us today, Adult Swim star Henry Zebrowski.
Woo! Back in the saddle again.
Yeah, how's the show going?
It's going really well.
Your pretty face is going to hell?
Your pretty face is going to hell. It has been, it's out there now. It's in repeats now. Watch them, write letters to the company saying, like, I had a dream that Henry Zebrowski, had sex with me, and now I need to see him all the time.
Dear Mr. Turner, please.
Mr. and Mrs. Turner.
Please keep using Henry Zebrowski. P.S. Captain Planet sucks.
No, mostly just people going being like, where's all the anime? Everyone gets all upset about like.
Do they write to you specifically?
I have gotten tweets at me that are like, it's like, oh yes, you're gonna do another stupid live action show. It's like, where's Toonami? Where's Toonami? And
it's like you, Eric Andre.
There's not that many shows.
Frylock just pushing all of the anime away.
It's cheap.
Get out of here, you Japs!
Listen, if I don't see a schoolgirl fight a monster within 5 minutes, I might realize I still live in a basement.
Honestly, I love anime.
Of course.
It's harder for me to say out loud because I know it makes you a target on the streets. But it's like, I love it.
A target in this booth.
No. But I like, I like it. I don't think they're taking it. Dave Willis actually put it best, and he was talking about the Adult Swim fans, and he's like, the problem that a lot of the Adult Swim fans probably have with live action is that seeing another human on the screen reminds them that they are a person, and it reminds them about their life.
Yeah, well, seeing a fat human on the screen definitely reminds them of
how's he on TV?
Yeah. What am I doing wrong? Well, that and I'm sure that there are other people, and I'm sure you've got it's Cartoon Network, and
it's all day long.
I'm sorry, I'm not Huckleberry Hound, you dickface.
I'm sorry, guys.
Remember how shitty Cartoon Network was when I remember because I heard about the idea of Cartoon Network before ever seeing it, and I didn't have cable, and I was like, that must be the most amazing thing, because I'm just picturing all the cartoons that I like. That must be The Simpsons all the time.
No, it's just the dumb shit.
It's
everything they
Herculoids
get
and
free.
Galaxy Trio reruns.
It's the Thing spin-off series where Ginger just goes, okay, Thing Ring, do your thing. And he turns into a thing. Like, it was all the shittiest. It was like.
I was really into Herculoids, though.
The first few.
Me too.
Yeah.
The first few, years of Cartoon Network were just all the Scooby-Doo episodes that had dead celebrities in it.
Do you remember when they used to have like a block late at night that was all of the racist cartoons? They would do all the weird
the black
shit.
And white Bosco kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, and like, Popeye smashing Japanese
I'm sure someone's
people.
yelling it right now during this, but there was a show all about that. Was it Toonheads?
I think that's what it was, right?
Toonheads would do different anthologies.
They
did Tex Avery stuff, and
I love Tex Avery too. My buddy Nitzberg used to have he's a cartoonist in Austin, and he just worships Tex Avery. We just watch it constantly.
I'm sure there are people back in my day in Cartoon Network. We had June bugs, and it was nothing but Bugs Bunny all June. And now they have Boomerang, which is kind of Cartoon Network's way of saying shut the fuck up. But even on Boomerang they have stuff like Powerpuff Girls and Johnny Bravo.
What's Boomerang? Is it a new channel?
It's been around for
it's their spin-off to show. It was originally just showing old Hanna-Barbera Flintstone stuff.
Oh, it's like their MTV too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
but
it is more just strictly cartoons, Johnny Quest and all that.
There's plenty of cartoons.
Yeah.
There's all days of cartoons. It's just different shows. And then when it comes out, and something like Pretty Face is a living cartoon. I'm fucking painted. What do you want from me? Just like I'm painted red.
I can't watch Breaking Bad because
People
it's not
draw
Casablanca
on
and
me.
defeats the AMC aesthetic. Yeah, things change. It's so funny because if it's good, no one complains. Yeah, no one complains about AMC not just showing old movies. They complain about the movies they show now. You don't need to show sudden death so much, you assholes. But
I do love sudden death.
Yeah,
JCVD. I do enjoy it.
I remember watching that movie with my stepdad. That's a stepdad movie. You watch Schwarzenegger with your father. You watch Jean-Claude with your stepdad.
We're bonding. It's just like
Clint
patting you
Eastwood
awkwardly.
dad, Chuck Norris stepdad. That's how that shit works. And
That's why he made sidekicks. He understood his genre.
That's what I was to my stepdad.
Yeah, this is for weekends. Yeah.
I was my stepdad's Jonathan Brandis, and someday I'll take the same way out.
Oh. How did it get sadder?
Been holding that in for 98 episodes. Wait till we go to Brad Renfro country. Oh boy! But I remember there's a scene where he fights the Pittsburgh Penguin, and he knocks the helmet off, and it's a girl in the penguin costume. And my stepdad just goes, "Now that's what I call feminism," and it was.
Shut up, John.
So will you respond to fans when they write this shit, or you just keep it?
Oh, I mean, I respond sometimes. It's like it's hard, you don't want to get them at you as well, because I don't need the rest of my internet life to be destroyed. And we do have, especially, it's more like for Last Podcast on the Left, when we have those fans write in, they are a little bit more intense.
They can get really intense.
And a lot of dick pics.
They really don't know you're making fun of them.
That's the horror podcast you have on this network.
On this here network.
And do you have a lot of these Pretty Face fans come to the? Do they
honestly,
see it as like a
seems
legit thing? Like, oh, he all right, he's one of us now.
It's back and forth. It's great. Honestly, it's if I could keep moving in the genre of super dark sci-fi comedy, I will be very happy. Like if I could just keep doing this, because it's what I'm interested in anyway. And all the two guys who ran makeup for Pretty Face, who were fucking geniuses, Chris Brown and Shane Morton, they're like 45-year-old practicing Satanists who do all the we were talking awesome. Fucking when I walked in the room, and it's like they're just two 40-year-old big dudes with scraggly hair and covered in tattoos, and I was like, oh, hopefully we'll get along. And the first thing he's like, well, you know that Barack Obama's a lizard, and I was like, woo! It's like, I know that shit.
And they worked on him. We put the people makeup on him every day.
A disco ball just lowered from the ceiling.
How long does that makeup take? It looks awesome.
It was an hour and a half.
Okay, that's
hour and a half in, hour and a half out. The problem is, it's I just got back I did the Atlanta's Rock and Roll Monster Bash this weekend, and I'm still stained red from doing it out in a parking lot. It takes 3 washes.
You had to go out in the makeup?
I did it, yeah. I went out and signed posters and shit like that. That was fun.
That's fucking
And that was our crew. And it was some of the evilest people in the world. It's just, dudes just full face tats being fucking love the devil, man. It's just sign it to Denise.
Did you see the big
Fun
poster
fact, I was born when all of Mudvayne combined into one man.
We called it Manvane. The man who was Mudvayne. And it had the Kirby pants. Now, did you see the big poster of yourself in Williamsburg?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
what was that like? That's got to be cool.
It got me so hard.
I bumped into you. You were on your way to, they just finished it, and you just ran over there, right?
Oh, yeah. It was 3 a.m. We were all hammered. Going from Holden's house to take a look at it. I mean, it's ridiculous. I would go walk past it, of course, and be like, and no one knew that it was me. And then a homeless family took up sort of residence underneath it. So this is good.
They're forming a new society, using it as a totally.
So your poster is a better person than you are.
Yeah. Generous. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Now, you're in a upcoming Scorsese movie.
Oh yes,
Wolves of
I am.
Wall.
Isn't that weird to
You're allowed
say
to
to
talk
me?
about that?
Yeah, it's fucking
Martin?
Martin Scorsese.
Oh.
Yeah, for Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, I don't. The main thing is, I just at this point I don't know how much of it I'm gonna be in. You know, it's like you could call it talk about the movie, but it's just like
Werewolf of Wall Street.
yeah, it was like what? Like it's a whole different movie because I know they're doing some reshoots now, but it's. I mean, that was just one of those like movie nerd, total fucking mind melding experience when you're sitting there. Like we finally got used to Scorsese. It's like it was 6 months of filming, and finally got to the point where I wasn't like visibly nervous around Scorsese. We're all sitting around hanging out. And Spielberg walks in, and like the whole crowd, everyone goes like, "Oh, Spielberg's here! Spielberg's coming in! He's coming to look at the thing." And it's just like Scorsese's like right there. It's like don't get him mad. And I feel like they have like a weird competition thing going on too.
Some guy just walked up and was like, I love Minority Report, and they just shot him in the face.
Get down, Mr. Spielberg!
I don't know why they're competing. One makes money and the other makes movies. I don't understand what the competition.
That's what everyone said. They were coming because we were doing. It was the day that we were shooting with drones. We had 2 drone cameras that were like literally
the
2
quadricopters?
Yeah, like
oh, fuck.
it was like I imagine if you're in Afghanistan and those things have guns on them. You live in a cave. You've been running for weeks. All of a sudden you hear like it's silence and you hear like the quadricopter pulls into the fucking cave. You're gonna scream. I was like watching it fly around. It's precision movements, like dodging in between people, and like everyone's like, "Watch your head!" It's the fucking drone zips past you.
Because what it is, it's the fucking next generation of the dolly shot, like in Goodfellas.
That's exactly what it was.
He's one-upped himself with the fucking
Literally.
single take
And it
dolly
was
shot.
two dudes in fucking like
Armor. You can say armor.
like in army uniforms operating the drone. They had literally rented them from the army.
Were they gas powered or electric? I know they make.
Oh, they're electric.
Okay.
Those are electric. I think they were they literally plug into a wall.
Now when
It's like a Roomba.
I want to know when Scorsese sleeps, do the caterpillars that are having sex on his head that look like eyebrows
They just
go
crawl off
into his mouth?
I was there when he was applying them. That took quite a bit of time.
I call this one Bocephus.
I will. I
no
will
one
say
must
that
know.
he does take naps during the day, and you're not allowed to wake him up.
He's an old man.
He's 70 years old.
Please tell me it's under a giant sombrero.
He is in a trailer the size of the creek in the cave. He just goes and sleeps, and he's got his chef who just like literally just makes him linguine all day. It's like all he eats. It is like, and there was one of the one of the cooler parts is that one of the guys that was the props, like the prop master of the whole movie, has been doing Scorsese, all of Scorsese's movies for the last like 25 years. And so he's got all of these things are in the movie that we're all wearing that all have like some different Scorsese story attached to it. Like my buddies, Brian Sacco's in the film, was watching he has a watch on, and his watch was worn in Goodfellas, and he's like, this is the watch that was used when basically there was a big story in the early 90s and when Goodfellas was being made, when these 2 crooked detectives basically were using their connections in order to buy cocaine and ship it into New York, but when they went to jail, basically they were friends with one of the prop guys, like other friends, and he was like, let me get your watch. Let me get your watch. And he gave him his watch, and then they used it in Goodfellas.
Wow. It also counts down the end of Ray Liotta's career. Secondary feature.
Now
I liked him in Iceman.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
You be careful with this, Henry. Joe Pesci came into this hat 5 times on the set of Casino.
That's all it was. Just like, and he slipped on a meatball while wearing this pair of pants.
Is it like a lot of old school Italians on set?
They have to purposefully keep them away. They said like specifically when they were making Goodfellas, it just used to be dudes. Mob dudes were just hanging out on set. They'd come hang out, and they were like, but then eventually, like, they'd start being like, he'd never do that. No, he would never do that. They would be like, you gotta give me a script writing credit. You know, and they're just like, no, bro, we're not going to give you. I'm sorry, Johnny Bojangles. Like, I know that you
It's
are.
a nice movie. It'd be a real shame if something happened to it.
But yeah, I'll never have that back.
Who has the most valuable kneecaps in this room? Just ask.
I think I'm starting to realize, like, if you think you're dealing with someone shady, then you probably are. Like,
Always. They make it really obvious.
Me and Adina went to go look for apartments this weekend in Astoria, and we're pretty sure that the realtor guy is definitely some Greek mob. They have mobs, right? Yeah. And because for one, these were some of the signs. 3 different phones.
Yes.
Text from 3 different phones. Every call that we got was from a different phone.
Yeah.
2, he rode a Jaguar and said to us, "You ain't never seen any other realtors wear this, drive one of these." 3, he sounded like Rodney Dangerfield.
Don't even worry about it.
Every time we walked up to...
We just want to give it to a nice couple. A nice couple to sit in here.
Every
No
time
problems,
we
no
walked up
problems.
to meet this guy at a different place, he was always talking to a different guy in sunglasses.
All right, I see you. I gotta meet with these guys.
Yeah.
Dory, that's my ravioli guy. He brings me fresh raviolis, if you know what I'm saying. Quote unquote.
Greek ravioli. They have like olives in them. Yeah.
Fun fact, if you bury someone in phyllo dough, the dogs can't find them.
Yeah. They think it's mashbool. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's a spinach cake.
We did things to the makers of Disney's Hercules that we did not disclose for fucking up the mythologies there.
So let's just agree, fuck all peoples from the Mediterranean region. Let's just agree right now.
The thing about them is that they are multiple businessmen. They're businessmen that can't just focus on one thing. They're the Bo Jacksons.
From Bojangles to Bo Jacksons. But now, so I mean, this you're slowly living the dream, man, to work with someone of that caliber and to.
I feel like that's kind of the problem. You know, is that it's done now. You just what do you do? What do I do? I'm still going to go do bit pieces. I'm still going to play
star in a Scorsese film.
We will see.
Star in a Takashi Miike film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's more my dream, of course. But, I mean, my real dream as an actor is to be in a David Lynch movie. I would give anything to be in a David Lynch movie.
I think David Lynch accepts those offers.
I just feel like make a movie. Because they did that. Him and Herzog did that for My Son, What Have You Done? They literally just sat at lunch and they were hanging out and they were he was speaking with Herzog and he was just it's just so horrible how long it takes to make a movie and why you need all this money and time all involved in it. And he's
Quadricopters.
yeah, and he's just no, we can go just make a movie next week. And they're yeah, call your people. Yeah, and he just called up Michael Shannon and he's just yeah. Absolutely. Because he was just sitting. God knows what he does when he's not working.
Yeah.
Now, here's something I didn't realize. I didn't know Werner Herzog ate lunch.
It was just the two of them. I just imagined
I figured he just ate Lunchables. The pizza sauce is always cold, and the candy bar is the melted.
In the silence, I hear one voice cry out, "Go get him, Nacho."
My films penetrate the emotion in the same way that I've tried to get this straw to penetrate this Capri Sun.
It's the jungle. I hate it.
So what would your dream David Lynch movie be?
Oh man, I mean,
Blue Velvet 2?
Literally, I kind of see it in my head where it's just me as a private detective in a David Lynch film, working for Isabella Rossellini.
Wait, you're not driving around in a lawnmower?
I would just like to be something, it's a night, it seems perfect on the outside, but on the inside, it's a dark, weird world.
With
Or
a
Twin
midget
Peaks
popping
2.
out of a box.
Yeah, that's all I want. I want to be in the blue room, or whatever it is.
Oh, man.
So, anything else that you would really love to do? Because I'm just like amazed. I have known you for a while. You've always been like a really funny, talented guy. Anytime I see good things happening to a good person, it gives me faith.
But the same thing with you, man. It's really so nice. It's so nice to see. Oh, there's nobody.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Good
really,
things, yes.
Accept the compliment. Let it wash over you.
I just auditioned for you, Bull.
Yeah, you balls just sitting there just being like, I don't know if he's enough me. I don't know if he can betray me. I just don't even know. It's like one of those things. I talk with my people too, and they're all like, well, I don't know what you're going to do next. That is funny. You know, just be like, oh, you
It
know.
worries us because we live off you.
Literally, it's like now I'm just auditioning for like Quaker Oats commercials. You know, and that's mainly my job right now.
You can be Wilford Brimley in a diabetes prequel.
Diabetes prequel.
Type 2 diabetes. What do you mean I have type 2 diabetes?
And then buying the horse that he rides.
Me just slamming donuts.
I'm going to name you Cupcake after the thing I can't have anymore.
I hate oatmeal. Just oatmeal's thrown in the garbage.
Do you ever fist someone to a Neil Young song? Oh, what's that? You haven't lived?
You haven't lived yet? Like the Philadelphia of diabetes movies.
The streets of diabetes. Will you lock that foot?
Wilford Brimley just like sucking on Three Musketeers.
Oh man.
No, yeah, it's fun. I just sit and read about the paranormal now, and wait for the money to go.
And you're still with Murder Fist?
Oh yeah, of course.
The single greatest sketch group in New York. That's counting the cast of Saturday Night Live. I'm just going to say that.
Well,
Take that, Kenan Thompson. Or like Mediocre Burger.
You know what's really sad is that he does probably Google his name like every day and see all the things that people will be like, "Fuck you, Kenan." And he just sits and cries into his sack of diamonds.
And he calls Mary Beth
Don't
Dimberg.
think so.
And Kel's ghost is like, why have you forsaken me?
It's like
We had a pact.
the
Chain
Muppets
rattles.
Christmas Carol. You know? You're doomed, Kenan. You're doomed for all time.
Yeah, you
The
rarely ever
future
see
is a
the
horror
fat
story.
one surpass the skinny one.
Oh yeah,
Just in years.
it's kind of nice. It's a win for us. That's a win column.
Well, that's the last thing we'll talk about. I know you're a big Farley fan.
Oh yeah, of course. What I would say is he was what got me into
Cocaine.
Yeah. But you know, like how, like, what are those moments that you realize that, like, oh, if I'm funny, my life is going to be so much easier because I'm such a horrible nerd. It's like, you grow up, I have skin problems, I'm a big fat kid. I was like, I got a growth spurt in the 3rd grade, so I've been 5'7" since 3rd grade. But so it's like, I was really big in elementary school, and then you're like, well, what do I do? How do I get out of this
Just
bullshit?
imagine you in elementary school with like a striped shirt with your gut hanging out and a beanie hat.
Pretty much.
But it's just you now.
You're just hanging it's like, oh, French bread pizza.
Come on, Weird Al's playing.
And that was a lot of that.
That's me too. That's all of us.
But it's like, what's that moment that it's like, well, what's going to break through? And then I watched Chris Farley, and then it turned into middle school. I started doing Chris Farley and then getting pulled out of class. Like, I would get pulled out of class and taken from class to class to, like, do Chris Farley at classes. And then, like that's just what happens. And then later on, like now, every once in a while, in, like, a sort of sullen, drunken mood at 3 a.m, I'll start watching, like, Chris Farley on, like, Letterman or, like, The Tonight Show.
I watch those too sometimes.
And it's heartbreaking. You like watch him, and you're just like, to be completely honest, it's just like, at least I have self-respect. I don't know if that's like makes me like not burn as bright as what he was doing. Of course, was so iconic
It really
and huge.
Yeah, his was the only celebrity death that I cried about.
Me too. I remember I found I was playing Magic at my
Take
buddy
that, Rue
Rory's house.
McClanahan.
My brother made fun
You'll
of me
rue
for
the
it.
day you died.
Well,
He died. I cried. My brother was like, "You fucking faggot."
but That's the one. That's the one unifying one where it's like I cried for days.
You can't go back and watch those late night clips. The one was it Letterman where he does the cartwheel.
Yeah,
and it's like you can only cartwheel so much before that catches up to you. there is this like almost exploitative nature.
Yes.
To the way where it's like, because like Leno and Letterman and all these guys feel like such adults, and he feels like such a child.
But that's part of what's so good about him. But the problem is that like then you read like the Farley Show. I read the Farley Show in one go, sitting in Barnes and Noble. Like I just took it off the thing and I just read the whole thing. And when you watch it, when you read that, you're like. Number one, he was conscious of his image to a certain point. He was but it was resentful. It's like he was doing it and then being like, they only want to see me fall down. But it's like, but you keep chasing it around. Like you keep, you're what you want, your crowd pleasing is amazing. There's nobody who pleases a crowd more than you. But the problem is that at some point you got to choose you. You have to choose yourself. You have to choose like, I like doing this for me.
Yeah.
You know, which I try to always remember. It's just like you do this because you like it, and like it's about communication.
Trapped in a way. I mean, well, that was the thing where it's like the phenomenon that was, Tommy Boy, and then the awfulness that was Black Sheep, where it was like Black Sheep was Tommy Boy with self-awareness.
Yes,
where they tried remaking it. But it lost the charm wasn't there as much, the dynamic wasn't there as much, and it just kind of fell a little flatter.
Oh, I feel
it lacked any of the purity of Beverly Hills Ninja.
But it's like
I love that movie.
Beverly Hills Ninja is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He to me, it's just like the one thing about him though is that he could never phone it in. So his performances always hit the mark, except for like later on when his voice was just destroyed. That last SNL that he hosted was just such an abysmal thing to watch because he just couldn't even do it. He couldn't hold himself together anymore.
And it's weird, like whenever because they'll re-air that one from time to time.
And it's just like, why are you? That's just
the same
not
way
good.
that you would never like re-air the pay-per-view where Owen Hart falls. Like,
oh yeah,
it's the same kind of
because you watched him be. He was over once he got to that point. He was done.
Well, and Almost Heroes, which is such a sad like.
Except for the part with the eagle.
Yeah.
When he goes up to get the eggs
Is it worth
out of
watching?
The
I never.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to believe, even though it's probably shot before but came out after, like by a month. I like to believe Dirty Work as his final film.
Yeah. Oh, I love.
He's amazing.
The land of the blind, the man with one eye is king.
And Shut your cake, skunks.
I love that one.
Shut your cake hole, Yoko. Shut your cake hole. Street fighting, man. But it's just interesting because I think about it like as a comic and all that. Like when they talk in the book about how him falling through those tables and the Chippendales. I think it's Chris Rock who says it. Like that was the moment we knew he was going to die because he chose the easier way. And there's just
the way too. I mean, I understand. I understand it. It's like it's kind of like you feel like you're operating in your wheelhouse all the time. But what's really fucked up is a lot of time I think about sports stars in terms of comedy when it's like they were talking like when I was reading about Michael Jordan, right? And Michael Jordan would talk about how when he couldn't do Air Jordan anymore, when he couldn't do the jump like he wanted to, he realized, well, I can't do the jump anymore, so I got to do this other thing. So he started working on the fadeaway, and then the fadeaway won him 3 championships. And the idea is that like at some point you have to add your intellectual side to it and be like, what is this now? How do I increase my fucking tool set? And like it can't just always be throwing yourself through walls. You got, and I know that's what they said that he was doing with like the Fatty Arbuckle movie, and then he had also voiced 75% of Shrek right before he died, which is just would have made him millions and millions.
And humanize him a bit too. That's
absolutely, and then give him a new market to kids.
Because he was 33.
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, it's like fucking crazy, like to already at that point. Yeah, he basically, if he had survived, he would have probably gone I think he would have gone like the Jim Carrey, Eddie Murphy, even more family film driven.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's where the money is now too.
And it would have been safer too.
Oh, of course.
He wouldn't have had to have been asked.
And the bodyguards would have been able to maybe keep the drugs away from him. That's just a thing I'll never understand. I like sweet marijuana leaf all day long, but that's not going to put me in a fucking John Belushi heart attack.
Yeah, but those bodyguards, their main priority probably is just pleasing the client.
That's what it gets down to, because then you're getting tips. And you're hanging out. You're hanging out with all the celebrities, and you're partying, and all of a sudden you're doing cocaine. You're the cocaine bodyguard. It's just like when you're up
That
there,
was
you got a
actually the
Supergirl
last
shirt
movie
on.
he agreed to shoot before it happened.
What was interesting too is I found out I was about to go to the arcade with my dad. We were in the car eating McDonald's, and
Another strange harbinger of your future.
I know.
You think about that every
Just the
time, every moment in your
McDonald's.
childhood
Yeah.
where you like loved eating McDonald's.
Yeah, why didn't I work in an arcade for 7 years? But what was interesting was, we start listening to that, and then my dad's just like looks at me, and I'm just like, well, I guess we should just keep eating this McDonald's. Chris would have wanted it that way. Hey man, thanks so much for being on the show.
Absolutely,
it's really
thank you guys.
fantastic. So happy for you. Anything you want to plug?
Just keep watching those Pretty Face remakes, the reruns, and look out for more episodes of the Last Podcast on the Left, Cave Comedy Radio.
Yeah.
And then Murderfist. We're gonna have a shit ton of new videos coming out for our 10th anniversary show, which is on August 8th at Littlefield.
Oh, brilliant!
awesome.
Yeah.
I think I say this like at least once a month, but the 24-hour straight Murderfist sketch show was like a baptism of comedy.
Do you
That
know
was, like, one of the most
literally
amazing
my
things.
shoulder has never been the same since that show. I slipped on a thing and I dislocated it felt like I sort of dislocated my shoulder falling on the stage.
Was it 24 or was it 12?
12 hours.
That's still
It felt
insane.
like.
That was bad. With the next day, I had to go film a thing in New Jersey, and I literally should have gone like, "Hey guys, I don't know if you want it." And they're like, "We'll just do it in ADR."
Did you guys take breaks and stuff, or like how long were you on stage? Just most of that time.
I was in 89 of 110 sketches,
Jesus
and
Christ.
we didn't break. We had no break. There was 10 break. Well, there was like 10-minute breaks between each set. But that was like running through each one. It was like it was divided into 12-hour sets.
There goes my hero. That's awesome. Well, you can get my album Sadamantium on iTunes and
Click,
huh?
clickety, click.
And also I'll be in Jacksonville this week at the Comedy Zone and next week at Crackers in Indianapolis, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be most of the audience.
I still love comedy club names. I still can never get over them. Yeah.
Yeah, they all sound like Joker hideouts.
Just follow me at Best Jake Young on Twitter. I'm doing more shows in the city, and I'll keep you posted on there.
Yeah, and plugging Last Podcast on the Left this week, as I always do. This week, the rape of Nanking and other Japanese war crimes.
Yeah. They're dangerous.